Oil and gas industry makes $3 billion a day. But before any of that money is made, you gotta secure the land and manage the people. It's the second part that can get you killed.
We roll the dice one last time.
The world has convinced itself that you are evil and I am evil for providing them the one thing they interact with every day.
Landman, new series streaming November 17th, exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Hey everybody, welcome to Texas. My name is Allie Larter, and I play Angela on the new series from co-creators Taylor Sheridan and Christian Wallace, Landman. Billy Bob Thornton stars as Tommy Norris, Angela's ex-husband and one of the best landmen in the larger-than-life world of West Texas oil. Now, I understand not everyone knows what a landman is. I didn't, but I've got you covered. Keep watching to find out everything you need to know about this epic new series. I'm so glad you're here with us to find out more about Landman, featuring Billy Bob Thornton and yours truly, with Demi Moore and Jon Hamm. This brand new series premieres exclusively on Paramount Plus. Landman takes viewers inside the dangerous business of West Texas oil. It follows the families that power the industry, billionaires and rig workers alike, as they both seek their fortune in a world where one misstep can have unimaginable consequences.
You gotta secure the land and manage the people. That's my job. First part's pretty simple. It's the second part that can get you killed.
Here's a closer look at everything Landman has to offer.
Landman is about the oil business and the inner workings of it, the good and the bad side, and the danger, the darkness, the satisfaction, the obsession, and how it affects the people around you.
First comes the dreamers, then the bankers, then the salesmen, then the sharks, then the desperate, and then the thieves.
Landman is a real insider's look into a business that fuels our quality of life all the way around the world. Nothing like it.
We are so reliant on this substance that has been with us for so long.
Our whole lives depend on it. And hell, it's in everything. Your cell phone case, artificial heart valves, any kind of clothing that's not made with animal or plant fibers, soap, hand lotion, garbage bags, fishing boats, you name it. Every thing.
It's a pretty well thought out, smart, entertaining look into this world that a lot of us kind of take for granted. The world has already convinced itself that you are evil and I am evil for providing them the one thing they interact with every day, and they will not be convinced otherwise.
This story really shows how the ups and downs and the booms and the busts affect the people in this industry and their families, their friends.
3 weeks later, markets crashed and oil dropped to 30. We lost everything.
You could drill 5,000 feet down and come up with nothing, and then a half a mile away, they could drill 5,000 feet down and become a billionaire. And it's just a matter of where the straw goes in the drink. It's easy for you to say, it's not your money.
Yeah, well, my salary's pretty tethered to your bank account money. It's a hard life. There's never a moment where something doesn't go wrong.
They're living their life. You know, they are doing the day-to-day dangerous business of oil. The Wild West.
You bet your ass.
From the roughnecks to the corner office execs, and all the drama that goes into everyday human life.
Landman is about family. That's what's at its core. The central idea that it's your family you depend on, no matter what it is you're doing, whether you're an oil man, a lawyer, a landman, a rig hand, you're going home at the end of the night if you survive.
It's a flammable, explosive, viscous, gnarly thing.
Doesn't seem very safe.
That's not very safe. That's why they make 180 grand a year.
It's bringing forward the question of what's the most important in our life? What's it really all for? Everyone is in the game and in the chase, and how much is enough and at what cost?
Exercise, nothing lowers the blood pressure better.
Yeah, well, I don't think walking on a treadmill is going to make me feel better about spending $2 million on a well that may be running dry.
You're risking a lot of money, you're risking a lot of lives, and it's extremely eye-opening.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more behind-the-scenes action from co-creator Taylor Sheridan's Landman. Landman has an incredible cast of characters, like my character Angela, who has a heart as big as Texas, but still has no problem telling Tommy exactly what's on her mind. But she's not the only force to be reckoned with on Landman. We've also got Tommy and Angela's daughter Ainsley, played by Michelle Randolph, Jacob Laughlin as their son Cooper, Michael Pena as roughneck Armando Medina, with Demi Moore as Cammie, and Jon Hamm as oil industry titan Monty Miller. Let's meet the wild characters brought to life on Taylor Sheridan's latest series.
I think the reason people who are fans of Yellowstone and 1883 and all of Taylor's other shows is because he always deals with family relationships and danger. This has the same thing, maybe even amplified in this one.
That's the hook, apart from the fact that when you tell any of your friends, well, who's in it? Well, Demi Moore, Jon Hamm, Billy Bob Thornton, Larter, a few of us, me and her, they're thrilled. Just tell us when it's on.
Well, the character I play, Tommy Norris, is pretty much, if I were in the oil business, that's what I would be. Don't delude yourself into thinking you're a rancher. You're an oil man who spends the money we give you on cattle. If it hadn't been for us, your family would have lost that ranch in the 50s. I'm kind of playing myself if I were this guy who's the Landman.
Landman has a great storyline. The first thing I thought of was Billy Bob's character as a Billy Bob character, but also as a father trying to recover from things in life that hold you back.
There's something people may not know about Billy Bob, and that is how hard he works. When he's asked to do more, he just does more.
He's extremely grounded and kind.
Yeah, he's exceptional.
I mean, working with Billy for me is like, I can't not smile all the time, you know, because it's like working your first scene with one of your best friends.
Cocaine?
Maybe heroin.
Man, I was so eager to be in Taylor's world.
Welcome to the oil business.
We all work for Monty, played by Jon Hamm, who is the owner of MTEX Oil. He's like the monopoly man. He just, all the chips are on.
Yeah.
Don't let your emotions confuse you as to who the boss is. The boss is me, and don't you ever raise your voice at me again.
Cammie is Demi Moore as his devoted, strong, and very loving wife who guides him through all of the ups and downs of his crazy business.
Take a pill.
I'm fine.
You're not fine. Take a pill.
One of the first days on set, we got to talking. We're like, I think this is the first time either of us have ever played a married couple that actually likes each other.
Remember this in the first place? Like,
Come on,
this was a date?
It is a date. Just a lovely marriage.
Yes.
What could go wrong?
This is a liability cluster bomb.
I'm working on it.
Work faster.
So Rebecca is a liability attorney. She is brought in when the fires that happen within MTEX get a little too big. I have a funny feeling I'm gonna learn a lot about you tonight, Tommy.
The Norris family is essentially the ex-wife, Angela, played by Larter, who's awesome. My daughter, Ainsley, who's played by Michelle Randolph, is also very awesome. Angela, she's just on 100 all the time. Her lifestyle is so different from mine, but we have this real connection with each other.
You really outkicked your coverage with that one, sir.
Oh, I didn't kick anything. I punted that one.
The connection that she has is something that's really raw and really beautiful and brutally honest. And I think that that's something that makes their relationship so original and so special.
I think one of life's great pleasures is showing you what you're missing.
You don't have to show me to know, honey. I already know.
My father is Tommy. He is the Landman. It's definitely not a typical father-daughter relationship.
So what would your kids like to do tonight? She's, in a lot of ways, a daddy's girl, but she has her mother's habits. Are you two having sex?
Daddy.
Well, I had to ask.
Of course.
And that's what I get for asking.
It lends itself to some really funny scenes.
You have Dale, played by James Jordan, who's incredible.
Why do you tell you had a long nose?
I don't have a woman over, I have my daughter over.
Tommy, your daughter is a woman.
You want to get hit again?
You Tommy Norris's boy, ain't you?
Yes, sir.
My son, Cooper, played by Jacob Laughlin, who has decided he wants to be in the oil business like his daddy, which is not a good idea to me. Head on a swivel and do what you're told. There's faster ways to die, but not by much.
It's a very interesting dynamic. We're still learning on that relationship.
So that's kind of the dysfunctional family that lives together.
And I think this show in particular has a really exciting energy, so it was really nice to be around.
It's a great casting crew, and the people who run it know what they're doing.
Job.
Whether you're a roughneck or a landman, working in West Texas oil is not for the faint of heart. Tommy is constantly juggling an endless series of crises, while the roughnecks on Landman are an inch away from death at any given moment. Let's get a closer look at what it takes to work in one of the toughest industries there is.
Every company has a version of Tommy. You cannot function without one.
There's a reason for that.
The landman is the guy who manages the land, basically.
Landmen go out there and they secure the leases so we can drill for oil and gas.
Not only the second in command, but like a foreman. And he procures the land where it's being done.
Sometimes these places are out in the middle of nowhere, so you need roads. You need places for the workers to live. You need to build out the actual machinery of digging a well, not to mention the actual well.
Tell you what, you think this is bad? Those holding tanks go up, I'll blow your ass to Abilene.
He's the fixer, he's the problem solver, he's the facilitator, and it's a very high stress, high risk, high reward job.
For sure. Tommy is absolutely a fixer. There's never a moment where something doesn't go wrong.
He has all of these fires that they're constantly having to put out because that's just the name of the game.
And it's real hard work.
I got 4,200 barrels of oil I got to move out of here every day. He's got the world on his shoulders. It's not an easy job.
The landman is the one who has to take care of everything when the hits the fan.
He deals with the other people around there, for instance, cartels.
We own this land.
Who want to use their land for other purposes.
It takes a lot of skill, and it takes a lot of smarts, and it takes a lot of your time.
There's actually a line in here where the sheriff, Walt, played by Mark Colley, he actually says to me, I wouldn't want your job today, and I say, you wouldn't want to have my job any week, Walt.
I think the only qualification one needs to have to get a job as a roughneck is a beating heart.
And two able hands.
Yeah, two able hands, absolutely. Folks come in from all over to find this line of work in the Permian Basin. So it's a viable way to make money. You don't have to have a college degree. A lot of folks have a checkered past. Everyone is welcome on the patch because every hand is needed.
Dude, the only way for a fella to make six figures is to steal it or work the patch.
So a roughneck does a lot of the rigging, all of the pipe work, some of the things they have to assemble, work over rigs. Just about everything there will hurt you. Very heavy things, very loud, so it really is a very dangerous job.
You're going home at the end of the night if you survive.
This is a rough way to make a living, but there's people that have been doing it for generations.
So Elvio, he's your son?
My little brother. Elvio, he's smart, you know, real smart. He skipped prison and went straight to the patch. Owns his home, had his truck paid off, wife don't work. I mean, how many 24-year-olds can say that?
Not very many.
Not very many.
Well, the roughnecks and their families, they put in a lot of hours, a lot of work, and their job is difficult, and it's a high risk, but they make an honest living. And the perils of that they're many.
So your whole family works patch?
Everybody's whole family works the patch.
This line of work is really a calling. It's generational. There's fathers and sons, grandfathers and great-grandfathers that have all worked in the patch. They've inherited the craft of this business and carry it on to subsequent generations in their own family.
Like father, like son, if you know what I mean.
It's a passion, it's a craft, it's a line of work that they see as essential, and they make a good living.
I can't wait for the day when you and everyone like you leaves this place.
You might want to think that through. Because if I'm gone, that means the oil's gone. If the oil's gone, that means the money's gone. And that means you're gone.
Stick around because we're about to go inside the making of one of Landman's most explosive scenes, literally. We'll be right back. Making a series as bold as Landman takes special expertise from all areas of production. The crew on Landman have to be at the top of their game, especially when it comes to stunts and visual effects. Here's a peek behind the curtain at the skill required to make sparks fly.
That oil tanker came over the hill and hit him going about 70.
It's always about making it real. And as safe as possible. That's the challenge. I'm Gary Elmendorf. I'm the special effects supervisor on Landman. I love special effects because every day it's a little different. It's all about the script itself, trying to get the writer's vision on screen. This is the most planned of all the things we've done. The airplane itself, we built it 7 different airplanes to make it look like the one we are going to land. That's probably the longest project so far. We probably have 200 man days in this scene. The stuntman is going to drive it into the wing of the airplane. Landing gear will collapse. Hopefully he hits a piece of the tail. He's gonna hit the van. There'll be a person on fire. That's always a dangerous element. Human being on fire is not something you see every day. I'm always concerned for them. They're always in a suit. There's a gel that they use for their hands. When we're doing a big event like this, all the planning, all the effort of the crew, the amount of craftsmanship that they bring to what we do, and then you see it and it's maybe better than you thought it was gonna look. Then I can look at it and say, that was great. How could we have done it better? Then I go to my crew and tell them what a great job they did.
Up next, we'll get an inside look at what it's like working with Taylor Sheridan. Stay tuned. As executive producer of shows like Yellowstone, 1923, Mayor of Kingstown, and Lawman Bass Reeves, Taylor Sheridan has built a name for himself as a storyteller who resonates with audiences everywhere. A triple threat who wrote, produced, and directed Landman, Taylor's intuitive style was inspiring to be around during production. But don't just take my word for it. Here's what the rest of the cast and crew had to say about making TV magic with Taylor Sheridan.
Roll down. What Taylor wrote is a Western in current times, maybe even amplified in this one.
Taylor Sheridan's storytelling is unmatched. This script is so compelling. My first read, I laughed, I cried, I learned so much about something that I really knew nothing about.
Getting oil out of the ground is the most dangerous job in the world. We don't do it because we like it. We do it because we run out of options.
What attracts actors to Taylor's projects is his stories that he chooses to tell and how he tells them. I think Taylor tells stories through intricate relationships.
One of the things I have noticed with the worlds that Taylor brings you into is that we get to experience these subcultures, these worlds that we might not otherwise really know about. And then he creates, heart and conflict.
There's a real specificity to what Taylor does with his writing and how he decides which worlds he wants to inhabit and let the viewer into, and it becomes kind of fascinating to learn all these new things and how these things work and how they inform our lives as people that exist kind of tangentially to the world of the subject matter of the story.
And then with it anchored with Billy Bob, you just sometimes can feel something that just feels right.
I didn't burn up anything. Fire burned it. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you take a script, but then you have to execute it.
We stick to the script, we stick to the words, but there's always, time to improv a bit, especially Billy Bob, who's an expert at it.
DEA has a satellite on our field? Hell no, Dale, I made that up. But the scenes are written brilliantly already.
He just sets a tone where he allows you to live in the skin of these characters, tell the story, because at the end of the day, that's the most important aspect.
He has a way of making you fall in love with all of these characters from all of these different point of views and putting them in these just brilliant conflicts. And it's exciting, it's dangerous, it's sexy, and it's a lot of fun.
It's pretty close to what I think Taylor's vision of it was.
I think if you're a fan of any of Taylor's work, you will instantly recognize his imprint on absolutely everything. The moment you see the first frame, you're gonna go, that's a Taylor show. Those are Taylor's shots. Those are Taylor's people. And that's a Taylor story.
Thank you so much for joining me for this special behind-the-scenes look at Landman. Be sure to stream the show exclusively on Paramount Plus. In the meantime, If you want more Taylor Sheridan, you can stream Yellowstone Origin Stories 1883 and 1923, Mayor of Kingstown, Lawman Bass Reeves, Tulsa King, and Lioness on Paramount Plus. I'm Allie Larter, and I can't wait for you to see what we've been working on out here in Texas. Until then, here's one last tease to tide you over. Enjoy the show.
Oil and gas industry makes $3 billion a day in pure profit. And it's only getting bigger. But before any of that money is made, you gotta secure the land, then manage the people. That's my job. First part's pretty simple. It's the second part that can get you killed.
The world has already convinced itself that you are evil and I am evil for providing them the one thing they interact with every day.
Getting oil out of the ground is the most dangerous job in the world. We don't do it because we like it. We do it because we run out of options.
Everybody's whole family works the patch.
Roll the dice one last time.
Sticking with beer, you want something stronger?
I quit drinking, I'll stick with beer. Welcome to the oil business.